Hello, welcome to The Writing Engineer. Today, I'm going to be doing the second in my series, The Science Behind My Science Fiction. So the whole idea for my story came to me when I was in the shower, thinking about alternative sources of energy, and one of the newest ones that I had ever heard of. It's called a tidal generator, and as its name might suggest, it gets its energy from the tides, or from the flow of water in and out of places. Basically, the whole idea is that it's a wind turbine only using the ocean as a source instead of the wind as a source. As you can see here, a tidal generator is usually either a cone or some propellers that are suspended underneath the water. They're usually anchored to the floor of the ocean in a place where the ocean will cover them to a sufficient point where all of their bits and pieces are underwater. Now, the best designed ones work when the water flows in either direction. So when the tide is coming in or the tide is coming out, the electricity flows either way. Sometimes people build artificial pools that are ringed with tidal generators in order to enhance their ability to work. You can see here, these are a few of the tidal generator pools which are located throughout the world. Unfortunately, this particular type of energy generation is still in its infancy and is therefore not as efficient as it could be. But for the purposes of science fiction, the mere fact of its existence is good enough. So making up the science behind this was kind of easy. All I had to do was say, well, let's take, for example, the model of a generator. When it was first designed, I'm sure that it was terribly efficient. But now we have steam generators and all the things that power our lives working inside power plants that are incredibly efficient. They work very well and are designed exactly for what their purposes are. Well, let's say someone made these tidal generators designed for exactly the purpose that they wanted, to capitalize on the continuous flowing of blood inside the human body to generate electricity. Well, that electricity could be stored in supercapacitors. Those also exist today and are currently being looked at as backup power sources for use in electric cars, because the capacitors can be charged and discharged at a much faster rate than any of the battery packs currently in existence. They can be charged to full capacity in a matter of minutes as opposed to a matter of hours on some of the even fastest charging stations that exist today. Even though Tesla has recently came out with a battery pack that can be charged to 75 miles in a matter of 5 minutes. These supercapacitors can be charged to full capacity during braking and will allow you to accelerate out from a stop position in a matter of seconds. So batteries still have a long way to go to catch up with supercapacitors. They do not have the capacity to drive a car like a battery does, but they're useful for short-term bursts of energy. Well, I incorporated those inside some of my heroes in my books and allowed them to have the ability to communicate with electronics, to make directed electromagnetic pulses, to shut down electronics, and to generally discharge energy from their hands at will. The images today that I've used in my presentation, I'll list the links to those below, so that I don't try and take credit for a lot of work that other people have done. If you've liked today's content, please give me a thumbs up. If you thought I could use some improvement in my presentation or would like some more details, give me a thumbs down or preferably leave some comments below. If you'd like to be notified immediately when my next video comes out, please click the notification bell and don't forget to subscribe as well. My book, Amara's Law, Blood Tech, will be coming out very soon. If you'd like to know exactly when, go ahead and hit my webpage and sign up for my newsletter. I don't have many people on my list yet, so the newsletter doesn't come out very often. But I will be keeping it up to date in terms of when things are going to be released. And stay tuned in the near future for a rather big announcement. Thank you very much, and have a good evening.